You ever do this? You build this perfect, logical, absolutely undeniable case for a raise, and then it just falls completely flat? Well, today we're going to dive into exactly why that happens. It's a huge career mistake that honestly so many of us make. And then we'll lay out a much smarter way to play the game, a more strategic playbook for getting the recognition and, yeah, the compensation you actually deserve.
And look, this quote right here, it gets right to the heart of the whole thing. Are you just a dependable pair of hands, a reliable resource they can use, or are you a strategic asset they need to advance? That difference, well, it changes absolutely everything.
Okay, so let's make this real. Let's look at a story that I think is going to feel painfully familiar to a lot of you. We're going to follow a guy we'll call Daniel, and we're going to break down the exact mistake he walked right into.
So look at what Daniel did. I mean, by the book, he did everything right. 3 years at the company, always staying late, taking on extra projects, you know the drill. And he prepared for this conversation meticulously. He prints out the market salary report. He's got a detailed list of every single thing he's contributed. He walked in feeling totally confident, thinking there is no way they can argue with this. It's just logic.
And the result? He hit a brick wall. It wasn't even a negotiation. The conversation with his manager, Reeves, just went nowhere. A total dead end.
And this is the reason his manager gave him. You know, the budget cycle was already locked. Should have talked to me months ago. And on the surface, that sounds reasonable, right? Just a simple timing issue. But what he didn't get was that this excuse wasn't the real reason. It was a symptom of something much deeper, a hidden dynamic that he had just kicked into gear. So Daniel leaves that meeting feeling completely defeated. He's thinking, well, that was a total waste of time. Nothing happened. But here's the thing. That's not true at all. Something did happen. The conversation set a whole chain of events in motion, just not the ones he wanted. And this is where we start to see the hidden system he was up against.
Right. So let's talk about this hidden system. We're calling it the raise trap. And once you understand it, you'll see exactly why Daniel's super logical, well-prepared argument was actually doomed from the very start.
Okay, this slide is absolutely key, because this is the fundamental disconnect. From your point of view, you're just having a rational conversation. Here's the work I've done, here's the market value. It's a simple transaction. But from the company's point of view, they see something totally different. They see a system disruption. It's a red flag that you've started counting receipts, and to them, that means you're unhappy. It means you're a flight risk.
And that brings us to the trap itself. The second you ask for that raise based on your receipts, all your past work, the whole dynamic flips. The urgency is no longer on the company to keep you, it's now on you to justify yourself. By showing his manager that whole list, Daniel basically showed all his cards. He signaled, hey, I'm keeping score, and immediately got put in a mental box labeled, might be looking for another job. Just like that, his leverage, gone.
And here's where it gets really dangerous. The real damage isn't just getting a no. So first there's the talk, then the no about the budget. But look what happens 5 weeks later. That big high-profile project Daniel was sure he was going to lead, it gets quietly reassigned. Now, this isn't his manager being mean or punishing him. No way. This is the system doing what it's designed to do, protect itself. It's hedging its bets. Why would they give a critical project to someone they now see as a potential flight risk? It's just rational risk management from their side.
Okay, so if showing up with a spreadsheet of all your great work is a trap, what are you supposed to do? What's the alternative? Well, there is a totally different way to play this. Let's get into the strategic asset playbook.
It all comes down to leverage and timing. But here's the secret. It's not about your timeline. It's not about when you want more money. The moment of maximum leverage is when the organization has that sudden stomach-sinking realization that losing you would be a huge, expensive pain.
So you can really see the two paths here, right? It's two totally different mindsets. The reliable resource comes in with a list of past work, basically a bill for services rendered. They're signaling they're counting, and it's all about their own timeline. But the strategic asset, they lead with a solution to a big, hairy problem. They're signaling that they reduce cost and complexity, and they operate on the company's timeline. One person creates a problem for their manager's budget. The other person solves their manager's biggest problem. Who do you think is going to get what they want?
So, what does this actually look like in practice? It's a 3-step process. Step 1, you have to identify your manager's single biggest pain point. What's the thing that keeps them up at night? Step 2, you solve it quietly, completely, without anyone asking you to. And then step 3, you frame your raise as the solution to their problem of keeping you around to keep solving these kinds of problems.
You see how this just completely reframes the entire conversation? Your advancement is no longer a disruption to the budget. It's not some new line item they have to fight for. Instead, it becomes the solution. It's the obvious, logical way to lock in the person who just saved them a ton of headaches. Your growth becomes their solution.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just a tactic for getting one raise. This is a mindset shift. It's about playing the long game in your career.
And this quote just nails it. Recognition isn't given, it's built signal by signal. See, your value isn't just the stuff on your to-do list that you check off. It's the story that people tell about you when you're not in the room. What are you known for? Are you just the reliable person who gets things done? Or are you the strategic person who solves the impossible problems?
And really, that brings us to the final, most important question you need to ask yourself. What story is the organization telling about you? Are you just a reliable resource to be used up, or are you a strategic asset they can't afford to lose? Because the answer to that question, well, that's what's going to define your entire career.